Hello friends, this video on Natural Resources Part 14 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now the next question is, what determines the soil quality? Now not every soil can support every type of plants. In fact, depending upon the texture of the soil, depending upon the depth of the soil, depending upon the color of the soil, we decide what kind of plants will that soil support. So what are those important parameters which decide the kind of plants that a soil can support? So the first parameter is humus content. What is humus? Humus is nothing but decayed living organisms which are very rich in nutrients which are needed for growth of plants. Now whenever living organisms die or any other insect or plant parts die, they are all buried into the soil. So inside the soil their decomposition take place, and these decayed living organisms form humus, which increases the fertility of the soil. So presence of humus make the soil more porous. So it makes the soil more porous. What do we mean by that? That means the soil with more pores. Since there are more pores, therefore the soil is more aerated. There is space for air to penetrate inside. There is space for water to penetrate inside. So obviously the soil fertility will improve. Second factor is nutrient content. Now mineral nutrients in a soil depends on the nutrients that were present in the parent rock, because soil is formed from rocks. So whatever nutrients were there in the rocks will be there in that soil. Now a soil might be rich in a variety of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, etc. Now different plants need different minerals in different amounts. So depending upon the content of nutrients in a particular type of soil, we can decide which type of plants would be suitable for that soil. Third factor is depth of the soil. Now certain plants need shallow soils, whereas certain plants need deep soils. So when you talk about depth, so the depth can be less, wherein we call them shallow soils. The depth can be more, wherein we call them deep soils. Now certain plants, for example grasses, ferns, they do not need very deep soils because their roots do not go very deep. So grasses, vines, ferns, they need shallow soils. Whereas if you talk about most of the shrubs, so they need deep soils because their roots go deep into the soil. So depending upon what kind of plants, or depending upon the depth of the soil also, you have to decide what kind of plants you should grow on that soil. So humus content, nutrient content and depth of the soil primarily determines the quality of the soil. Now, when we talk about soil, we mostly talk about minerals, and we say that plants need minerals and soil is a reservoir of minerals. But the question is, why do plants need minerals? So plant needs minerals primarily for growth, like for example, as I spoke about nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So these are some of the macronutrients. Macronutrients means those nutrients which are needed in larger quantities by the plants. Similarly, there are certain minerals, maybe calcium, magnesium, which are needed in smaller quantities and therefore called micronutrients. But the baseline is that both of these are very, very important for the plants. Besides that, tissue repair. So something went wrong inside the plant. Some part of the plant underwent some issues. So repairing those tissues again needs some additional energy. So from where will the additional energy come? It will come from the minerals. It will come from the nutrients. Reproduction. So plants need to reproduce. So reproduction again is a basic metabolic process. So reproduction also needs a lot of energy for that particular organism to perform. So reproduction also needs minerals, and minerals come from the soil. Metabolism, the basic metabolic processes inside a plant. For example, inside human beings, there are many different metabolic processes like digestion. We eat food, so the food needs to be digested. So for the process of digestion to take place, our body needs a lot of energy. So inside the body is doing a lot of work. Similarly, we breathe in. So for the entire process of respiration that is taking place inside the body is again doing a lot of work. You talk about circulatory system, wherein all the things are transported to different parts of the body. So there also the body is doing a lot of work. So in a similar case, inside a plant also, the transport of food, transport of water, preparation of food, there are so many metabolic processes which are involved, and to do all of them, the plants also need minerals. So these are the basic processes which take place in a plant, like growth, reproduction, metabolism, and for all of them they need minerals. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.